Thank you for having us today. Elevating Leaders Incorporated is proud to provide a dynamic training solution to your organizational process. We believe that leadership development is critical to foster insightful professionals, and you've made an excellent choice by selecting our group as your provider to do so. We are an accredited organization with an experienced and diverse staff. Leadership development is a specialty area that we pride ourselves in delivering to our clients. With the development of our Leadership Academy, we can provide our clients with state-of-the-art training and competencies necessary to groom and refine professional leaders of tomorrow and today. To service the needs of your particular organization, we've assigned our two most noted instructional designers to develop training geared toward your organization's leadership development needs. Brandon Anderson and Carlita Gotzi are experienced professionals with an eye and mind for dynamic training design. Now, upon our initial consultation with your group, we determined that the topic for this particular project would be, how do we create a professional development experience to promote leadership development among aspiring educators? Now, the development of this interactive online experience is geared toward educators that want to increase their level of engagement and improve the professional learning community. Educators often have underutilized skills and can become effective leaders within the school to fill the gaps in the leading roles within the learning community. Participants of this particular training will improve their employee relations and develop educational leadership skills. Now, during our discussion, we noted a few key background points that contribute to the formulation of the design project's topic question. These points were derived from a brief aspiration survey administered to school employees. The points include: the level of responsibility and advancement is static regardless of the years of work experience for most educators. Competitive peers that are not supportive of inexperienced or undeveloped staff new to the profession. Deployment and implementation of new technology and multimedia with limited option for training. And finally, varying expectations from the administration that may be conflicting. In addition to the background points, we've identified and narrowed down the instructional problem to 4 key focal areas for design consideration. They include: communication ineffective amongst peers. Messages are often not provided through proper channels and or inconsistent within the school environment. Lack of understanding of roles and responsibility, resulting in poor implementation and execution of activities and daily operations. Understaffed and lack of succession planning. And finally, few opportunities for advancement or diversity in job duties. Given this background information and fully recognizing the culture and climate of your school's organizational environment, we've developed this focus statement that will guide the project goals and commitments. The focus statement reads: our efforts will focus on designing a professional development experience that provides educators with knowledge and skills to enhance the learning environment through better communication and collaboration with peers. Participants will acquire strategies to promote leadership and a culture of inclusion. From the focus statement, our design will encompass the following terminal objectives guiding our proposed professional development course. The objectives read: learners will be able to identify roles and responsibilities within the organizational communication channels. Learners will be able to construct an inclusive written communication for a diverse staff. Learners will be able to explain benefits of communication strategies in the education organization. And finally, learners will be able to recall and identify the 4 leadership styles. Our design team has assembled a list of key competencies that learners will either develop or enhance based on their participation in this professional development opportunity. The key competencies are based on current and future qualities and skill sets successful leaders should possess within the education industry. Upon completion of the course, The learner will have increased their skill sets in the following areas: the ability to communicate in writing and orally, to be able to interact and properly use interpersonal skills, to learn foundational leadership skills, problem solving, critical thinking and decision making, teamwork, conflict management, and an ability to access information electronically. Now, we have two overarching goals for the instructional design project. These are specific targeted outcomes based on our review and analysis of the instructional stated problems. Goal 1 reads, an overall goal of encouraging educators that want to increase their level of engagement and improve the professional learning community through leadership skills. This is critical in that this particular training can be woven into the culture of the school community, thereby increasing awareness of the option for formal training and leadership development. Goal number 2 reads, increase succession planning rates amongst the administrative leadership positions within the educational workforce. One of the problems mentioned was understaffed areas, especially in the administrative roles. By incorporating this training, you will increase the pipeline of well-prepared aspiring leaders to assume the various positions. The team's brainstorming process was a very impactful method to generate ideas. Considering the diverse backgrounds and various levels of understanding, we learned quite a bit about working styles, conflict management, and focus. We also discovered that it is important to have more than one brainstorming session to think clearly and offer the right amount of consideration for generated ideas. Looking back at our experience, we were able to list some pros and cons of our brainstorming process. Some of the pros include our working styles are complementary. We were able to narrow down effective solutions. We each utilized our own strengths. We were flexible and agreed to be patient. The work was done in a small group, and we documented the process in Google Docs. The cons, or what we will consider for next time, include being able to meet face-to-face, being able to see the suggestion prior to the meeting, suggested guidelines for creativity session, learning to listen, ask, and reflect better, and finally, trust versus control. We've identified a viable solution that will work for this particular situation. The instructional design strategy identified for this content is an asynchronous e-course. The course will be learner-centered and will combine the use of audio visuals, brief content review, and practical application. It will encompass the use of central characters which will share experiences based on a peer's perspective. This strategy will use scenario simulations, role play, and discovery as the character assimilates into their new role of leadership. Now, the rationale behind this is that based on our analysis of the problem and the results of brainstorming, this is the best solution for the professional development opportunity design for your school environment. This approach is learner-centered and provides the opportunity for each individual to have control of their own path and select their level of challenge. Now finally, we look at the summative assessment. The summative assessment will be an oral evaluation. This assessment will require learners to take on the role of a selecting official. Given a scenario of fledgling educational environment, learners must analyze resume profiles of potential leaders for several administrative positions, determine selections, and provide an oral presentation regarding their potential candidates and their thought process. Learners must include learning content from course objectives to be successful. At this time, we'll take any questions that you may have regarding the plan proposal. Since there are no questions, we appreciate your time today and hope that our presentation provided a clear picture of the proposed project. We can assure you that we are committed to elevating leaders one course at a time. Thank you.